There's another question, maybe the last thing I'll leave this short interview with is a number of books have been written recently on the fact that a lot of people are just leaving the church.
Yeah.
They're going into homes and they're trying to figure out why. But as I see young people today, and I deal with a lot of young people in our summer program and throughout the year, college students, they seem to be searching. They seem to be searching for the spiritual. The question I would have probably then, is there a reason why people are leaving the church? Maybe be that they go to the church seeking a spiritual experience, and they're finding something else, a religious experience maybe that's just different. They're being taught dogmas and all that, but without the spiritual thing, or am I wrong? How would you read? Why are people leaving the church today? And they're leaving it in droves. The biggest minority in the United States today is 16% of those people who don't be affiliated with any kind of religious organization.
I know. I think people leave the church for all kinds of reasons, but I think the impoverishment of Protestant liberalism in the American congregations means that ultimately these students come into a church and they don't hear anything proclaimed that's different than what they can get by taking a hike, staying home reading the New York Times, Facebooking with friends,
New Age religion,
whatever, And I actually see, in my experience with students as a teacher at UVA, that the congregations that are flourishing because, in fact, they are offering students ways of thinking and engaging with the richness of the Christian faith. And students, we also see, as you see, a kind of resurgence in this generation of a kind of moral idealism, which I think is really interesting. Students are volunteering for Peace Corps and going into Teach for America, and all these have become really popular.
They're searching.
They're searching. Yeah. I think most of these students are coming to those causes because of some spiritual quest. And the question that I raise is, well, what's going to sustain your involvement in these good causes once that initial kind of enthusiasm wanes? And I do think there are congregations, for example, this is a Reformed University Fellowship on grounds. I'm not necessarily trying to plug Reformed University Fellowship, but there are 400 or 500 students coming to that group every week because, the music is beautiful, it's liturgical, it's poetic, and because Scripture is opened, it's read as if God is speaking to us through, the Word today, and there's a sense of freshness and energy there. Students are captivated by energy, by clarity, by conviction, and I think those congregations offer that are actually experiencing growth.
Last question, and just kind of sum it up. You had a book called Wayward Christian Soldiers, where you talk about this, but the Christian right, the old, led by the people, the Jerry Falwells, the Pat Robertson, the James Dobson, very vocal, very strident. Jerry Falwell go on TV blaming 9/11 on gays and whatever. You think that's been good for the Christian church as a whole, or for this country? That's the same group of people that pushed George Bush into office.
It's a great question. I mean, I was part of the Jesus movement in the late 1960s. I was like a 12-year-old Jesus freak. And I went to all the big rallies on the West Coast, and I spent time at L'Abri as a kid and as a teenager in Switzerland, the ministry of Francis and Edith Schaeffer in Switzerland. And I was very much taken, and continue to be taken, by that vision of a vibrant Christian counterculture that the Jesus movement at its best kind of embodied. That was, counterculturally politically, that defended life, that was pro-environment, that was anti-war, that was, politically kind of unmanageable. I mean, it didn't fall into any kind of neat political category. And I affirm that today. I regret that vision was seized upon or somehow became part of a political conservative machinery that somewhere lost the preciousness of the gospel and somehow lost the kind of political messiness of that evangelical counterculture that I sort of saw in the late 60s. So has it been good for America? I mean, some of those early discoveries, the consistent ethic of life, the value of prayer, the moral agenda, yes. But its political misuse of the faith, I think, was devastating.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.